Hello there and welcome. This is Newsfirst Primetime News coming to you live and direct from Newsfirst Studios here in Colombo. Today is the 22nd of September 2025. For the Newsfirst team, I am Jaimal Ratnayaka.
And I am Hashini Patirana. Let's start off with a look at your headlines for tonight.
Suspicious deaths lead to massive drug bust in Sinimodara. Over 600 kilograms of heroin and ice discovered. Weapons linked to Sampath Manamperi found. T-56 ammunition marked with KPI. President reaffirms electricity is now an essential service, stating there will be no privatization and no cuts to worker rights. Expert report reveals cause of Alla bus crash. Accident caused by driver fatigue, brake failure and lighting patterns.
To your top story for tonight. In a dramatic series of operations carried out today in the southern coastal region, Sri Lankan authorities seized over 600 kilograms of heroin and crystal methamphetamine, commonly known as ice, during raids in Sinimodara and Ginigalkantha, Tangol.
Now, the discovery was made in connection with an ongoing investigation into the suspicious deaths of 3 individuals. What is the link between these incidents? Newsfirst Juat Abdin brings us in-depth details.
Yes, thank you, Hashini. Now, the 22nd of September 2025, a historic day for Sri Lanka in regards to one of the biggest drug seize operations carried out in the country. Now, what were these incidents? Now, 4 major incidents were reported in Sinimodara Tangol, Ginigalpokana Tangol, Middeniya and also in Waligama. Now, let's get into details of these incidents. Now, like I told, these 4 major incidents were reported in Tangol and Waligama. One of them was reported in Sinimodara in Tangol. Now, to the first incident, 3 individuals involved in constructing a boundary wall at a residence reportedly fell ill and died under suspicious circumstances following an alcohol party held at the house last night. Now, these are the visuals that you do see me. These were the drugs that were seized. Subsequent to investigations now led by the police, or in fact led the police to inspect a lorry parked at the property where they discovered over 200 grams of substances suspected to be heroin and crystal methamphetamine, also known as ice. Now, let's move on to the next incident. Now, meanwhile, police inspecting another lorry approximately 6 kilometers from the residence uncovered over 200 kilograms of suspected heroin and methamphetamine concealed among watermelons. Now, like you did see behind me on the screen, several firearms were also recovered from the vehicle. Now, another incident was reported from Middeniya during an investigation involving individuals known as Kehel Badra Padme and Bako Saman. Police took former Sri Lanka Podujana Perumal local council candidate Sampath Manamperi into custody and brought him to Middeniya. Now, following statements made by Manamperi, police searched a house in Middeniya and recovered 2 gold-coloured T-56 magazines, a stockpile of ammunition and other weapons. Separately, in Waligama's Salmal Uyana area, now this is the 4th incident, police raided a suspected methamphetamine production facility reportedly operated with foreign involvement. Now, the raid took place yesterday afternoon and authorities have confirmed that more than 10 kilograms of crystal methamphetamine had been manufactured at the site. Now, the 22nd of September 2025, like I told, 4 major incidents. What were they? Let's take a closer look at each of these incidents.
What happened in Sinimodara Tangol? Police discovered the bodies of 2 individuals inside a house located along the Dikwala Road, approximately 6 kilometers from Tangol early this morning. The discovery was made following a tip-off received by local authorities. The deceased were reportedly among a group of workers constructing a large boundary wall around the property. A 3rd individual who had also been at the residence was admitted to Tangol Hospital earlier today and later passed away. Police launched a full inspection of the house following a complaint made by a relative of the hospitalized individual.
How did the 3 die?
According to police, the three individuals had consumed alcohol the previous night with the contractor responsible for the wall construction. They reportedly fell ill shortly afterward. Police have confirmed that one individual from the group is currently missing.
අපරාධස්ථානයේ මියගොය සිටි අය සම්බන්ධයෙන් ගත්තාම දිනුක ලක්ෂාන් හේවාවිතා.
Following an investigation into these deaths, the deceased have been identified as Dinukalakshan Hevavitarana and Vikrama Edirisurya Kavindu Kalhara. The individual who died in hospital was identified as Venura Kumara. Investigations into these deaths are ongoing and police have confirmed that one person who is present at the scene has fled. The Tangol headquarters police is conducting a separate investigation into this matter.
Following the discovery of the bodies, police conducted a thorough research of the property, including 2 lorries parked on site. By this afternoon, authorities had recovered approximately 400 kilograms of substances suspected to be heroin and crystal methamphetamine from the vehicles.
What was found in the lorry located away from Sinimodara?
During the ongoing investigation, police received information about another lorry located approximately 6 kilometers from the Sinimodara residence. Upon inspection, officers discovered over 200 kilograms of suspected heroin and methamphetamine concealed within the vehicle. Police stated that the narcotics had been hidden between watermelons. In addition to the drugs, 5 modern revolvers and a T-56 assault rifle were also recovered from the vehicle. One suspect was taken into custody at the scene. An investigation is now underway.
Today on the 22nd of September, the Sri Lanka police seized approximately 600 kilograms of narcotics. This includes 245 packets of heroin and 390 packets of crystal methamphetamine, totaling 635 packets and weighing around 600 kilograms.
What weapons were found in Middenia?
Initial investigations into 5 individuals, Kehel Badara Padme, Bako Saman, Panaduru Nilanga and 2 others who were arrested in Indonesia and brought back to Sri Lanka have begun to reveal a series of critical details. Among those now in custody is Sampath Manamperi, a former local council candidate from the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, who is suspected to have direct links to this criminal group and involvement in ice drug trafficking. He was brought to Middenia yesterday. Based on information he disclosed, police discovered a cache of weapons and ammunition hidden in a house in Virodagama area of Middenia. According to police, the recovered items include 2 gold-colored T-56 magazines, 115 rounds of T-56 ammunition, 1 hand grenade, a damaged 9mm pistol. Investigations revealed that the suspect had buried these weapons on the property of a female associate on the 3rd of September. In connection with the incident, the husband of the woman, an employee of the Ceylon Electricity Board, has also been taken into custody. The weapons found in Middenia have drawn particular attention. The T-56 rifle bullets recovered were marked with the initials KPI. Previously, bullets bearing the KPI marking were used in the assassination of Club Vasanta, also known as Surendra Vasanta Pereira, on the 8th of July last year. At the time, KPI was linked to the notorious organized criminal figure Kanjipani Imran. However, there has been no prior record of Kehel Badara Padme and Kanjipani Imran collaborating in criminal activities. Meanwhile, one of the gold-colored magazines found in Middenia matches the color of the T-56 rifle seized several months ago at the entrance of a luxury housing complex in the Bellavatta Havelock area. That weapon was found in the possession of 2 women. Former Minister Duminda Dissanayake was later arrested in connection with that incident. The case is still under judicial review and the former minister, along with other suspects, has been released on bail.
What happened in Valigama?
In Mathura's Valigama area, a house located in Salmal Uyana that was raided yesterday has now been confirmed to be an ice drug manufacturing facility. This confirmation follows scientific testing conducted earlier today. According to police, approximately 10 kilograms of ice had been produced at the location. A Moldovan national residing at the house was arrested during the raid. He has been living there on a rental basis and was previously residing in the Unawatana area.
අපේ මුලස්ථාන පොලිස් පරීක්ෂකයට ලැබිච්ච තොරතුරක් මත
Based on the intelligence received by our headquarters police unit, we inspected the location and discovered that an 18-year-old Moldovan national had brought in all the necessary chemicals and was manufacturing ice at the premises. Scientific analysis confirmed the substance as ice. If this trend continues, producing ice in villages just like illicit alcohol or moonshine, it will leave no future for the next generation of our country. According to current findings, this operation was orchestrated by Russian national who had trained the young Moldovan and guided the production process. Further investigations are underway to identify the network behind this operation. We have already uncovered information about several individuals connected to this case. However, due to the sensitivity of the investigation, I am unable to disclose those details at this time.
Previously, drug manufacturing facilities were discovered in Norelia and Mairapura in Hambantota. According to current intelligence, the total quantity of ice produced at those locations exceed 30 kilograms.
Inspector General of Police Priyantha Veerasurya, who had travelled to Tangol earlier today, spoke to Newsfirst on the recent revelations.
දැන් උදෑසන සිට මේ සිදු කරන ලද වැටලීම් වලට එකිනෙක සමාන්තර බවක් තියෙනවද?
ඔව් දැනට අනාවරණය වෙනවා එක පුද්ගලයෙක් තමයි සියලුම සිද්ධීන් වල පිටපස්සේ ඉන්නේ. මෙහි ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන්
It has been uncovered that one person is central to all of this. The person in charge of distributing the goods is the deceased. Two others have also died. Further investigations will be conducted on their deaths based on the findings of the judicial medical officer. However, as stated before, it is evident that these three incidents are interlinked and was orchestrated by one person.
කටයුතු කරගෙන යනවා. කොහොම නමුත් කිව්වා වගේ මේක එකම සිද්ධියේ සිදුවීම් තුනක් එකම පුද්ගලයෙක් විසින් මෙහෙවපු සිදුවීමක් කියන එක දැනට අනාවරණය වෙලා තියෙනවා.
දැන් මේ වැඩපිළිවෙල තුල ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙද්දී සම්පත් මනම්පේරි නැවැත්තා. දින කිහිපයක් පොලිසිය මගහැරමින් ඉඳලා අධිකරණයට බාර වුණා. ඔහුගෙන් ප්‍රශ්න කරමින් යනවා. ඔහු අදත් ඔහුගේ ප්‍රශ්න කිරීම අනුව ආයුධ වගේක් සොයාගෙන තිබෙනවා. ඔහුගේ යම් සම්බන්ධතාවයක් මේ මද්ද්‍රව්‍යයත් එක්ක තියෙනවා කියලා අනාවරණය වෙනවද? කොයි වගේද ඒ තොරතුරු?
අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම සම්බන්ධයක් අනාවරණය වෙනවා. ඔහු මේ හිටිය විශාල ධාරිතාවකින් වැඩ කරපු පුද්ගලයෙක්.
Certainly, such a link has emerged. They have operated on a massive scale. Since probes are ongoing, I cannot provide further details, but we will definitely uncover who they had contact with, especially political parties and political figures they are associated with. Their contribution to drug smuggling and racketeering will be identified.
මෞද්‍රව්‍ය ව්‍යසනයට මෞද්‍රව්‍ය ව්‍යාපාරමට ඔවුන්ගේ දායකත්වය මොන ආකාරයෙන්ද ලැබුණේ කියලා අනාකරණය කරගන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි.
News First with the people.
News First, main sponsor.
A trusted place for your fixed deposits. Valuable FD, the symbol of stability.
Sail the Sri Lankan leopard.
Leopards usually rest on trees and rocky caves. Female leopards give birth to 2 to 6 cubs at a time. Most of these cubs die in infancy, and usually 2 or 3 cubs survive to adulthood. Leopards can mate year-round. In the dry zone, usually there are 2 mating peaks from June to September and November to December. Gestation period is 90 to 105 days. Usually the cubs live with their mother for about 1.5 years. After that, the mother separates from them. The young cubs are kept hidden until the mother returns from hunting.
WNPS initiatives to protect the Sri Lankan leopard is proudly sponsored by LOLC.
Sail the Sri Lankan leopard.
Welcome back to the news. The final report of the investigation into the bus accident that occurred in Allah, which claimed the lives of 16 people, was submitted to the Ministry of Transport and Highways today.
The report identifies the causes of the accident as the driver's lack of proper sleep, a faulty braking system while descending the mountain road, and the driver's impaired visibility due to the various light patterns inside the bus. The accident occurred on the 4th when the bus overturned into a precipice near the 23rd kilometer post on the Alla-Valla-Vaya road. 15 people died in the accident and another woman who was undergoing treatment passed away on the 12th. Among the victims are Tangol Municipal Council employees and their family members who were on a picnic at the time of the crash.
Suraj Nilanga, father of Vihanga Tejan, who died in the 2019 Easter Sunday bombings at Colombo's Shangri-La Hotel, called for urgent justice for the victims during the 60th session of the United Nations Human Rights Council.
Mr. President, my name is Suraj Nilanga. My son was killed during the 2019 Easter Sunday attack at the Shangri-La Hotel. I demand justice from the Sri Lankan government for my son's death. Nearly a year after President Anura Dissanayaka's appointment, the government interest in justice is fading. To provide closure for survivors and their families, the truth must be uncovered and the legal process completed. The government has not ensured fair, speedy and adequate reparations for all survivors and victims' families. Ongoing investigations have shown serious deficiencies and the mastermind behind the attack remain unknown. Key issues remain unexplained, such as the non-implementation on protective measures for churches and for guests at the Shangri-La Hotel, which had been ordered in advance. Franciscan International and the Centre for Society and Religions urge the Sri Lankan government to facilitate thorough, independent and speedy criminal investigation and prosecutions aimed at ensuring accountability for all responsible. Cooperate with international initiatives to ensure accountability. Provide adequate, just and speedy reparations to all survivors and victims' families after a comprehensive economic, social and psychological assessment. Thank you.
News First with the people.
An extraordinary Gazette notification has been issued declaring all services related to electricity supply as essential services. This comes against the backdrop where several power sector trade unions have decided to withdraw from operational duties starting from midnight last night. The trade union action, which is in protest against the restructuring of the Ceylon Electricity Board, is continuing for the 18th day today. Meanwhile, the President held discussions this afternoon with relevant stakeholders in the power sector.
Several trade unions of the Ceylon Electricity Board launched a work to rule trade union action starting from the 4th September in response to the CEB restructuring process, presenting 24 demands. A majority of these demands relate to safeguarding their personal privileges. A total of 25 trade unions, including those directly affiliated with opposition political parties such as the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, United National Party and Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, are involved in this trade union action. Among the demands are the granting of overdue promotions and salary arrears, adding the 10,000 rupee temporary allowance to the basic salary as of December 31st, 2023 and implementing a 25% salary increase based on the revised basic salary effective from the 1st January 2024, including arrears. The trade unions have stated that they will withdraw from all operational duties starting from midnight tonight.
The current work to rule trade union action has now entered its third phase. It is important to emphasize that restructuring cannot be forcefully implemented under the Essential Public Services Act and the Gazette notifications declaring electricity as an essential service.
However, the Ceylon Electrical Workers Union expressed a different view regarding the ongoing trade union action.
When you look at the demands, most of them are not actually related to the restructuring process. They are long-standing issues in the CEB dating back to even before 2023, which should have been resolved earlier. It is also important to note that this act was not something introduced by the National People's Power Government. It was originally brought forward by Ranil and Kanchana in 2024. All the destructive elements in the original bill were removed. Initially, the proposal was to send 12,000 workers home. But now, instead of layoffs, employee job security has been ensured and 100% of the company's protection has been guaranteed by the government. Some demands are contradictory. On one hand, they go to the media talking about the bill, but when they attend discussions, they admit that restructuring is necessary. Yet, they avoid discussions and instead stir up unrest, ultimately serving political interests.
The Extraordinary Gazette declaring all electricity-related services as essential services is now in effect. This Gazette was issued under the powers vested in President Anurukumara Dissanayaka by Section 2 of the Essential Public Services Act No. 61 of 1979. It was issued considering that uninterrupted electricity services are essential for maintaining normal public life and that any disruption or obstruction could have serious consequences.
President Anukumara Dissanayake reaffirmed today that the government does not plan to privatize the power sector.
Whenever we meet industrialists, the common concern is that we cannot compete as exporters with the current electricity bills. In some sectors, our industries also struggle to compete with imported goods due to high production costs. Therefore, we must transform the electricity board into a sector that is both efficient and transparent. At present, the public perception of the electricity board is negative, and from our own experience too, the system is neither efficient nor transparent. That is why we are determined to make it efficient. As a political movement and as a government, we also believe that for the sake of national security and sovereignty, energy independence must remain in our hands. For this reason, we have no intention of handing over this sector to private institutions. Instead, our goal is to create a proper institutional system to resolve the existing issues. We have identified several key areas within the electricity board, and our plan is to establish and manage separate institutional systems for each of them. These institutions will remain fully owned by the Treasury. We believe this is the right structure to introduce the efficiency and change this sector needs. The employees of the electricity board as well as the general public recognize that the old structure is no longer sufficient and that a new framework is necessary. I believe no one can deny that. At the same time, we are firm in our commitment that none of the rights of the employees will be lost while carrying out their duties under the new system.
Members of the committee appointed for the new reforms in the electricity sector, along with board members of the newly established companies, including the Ceylon Electricity Generation Company, the National Transmission Network Supply Company, the Ceylon Electricity Distribution Company, and the National System Operations Company, took part in the discussion. The issues and proposals that have arisen regarding the new reforms were also extensively discussed at the meeting, and it was stated that the President expressed his gratitude to the committee members for their contribution to this work.
President Anukumara Dissanayake is set to depart for the United States tonight, where he will represent Sri Lanka at the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly, or the UNGA. During his visit, President Dissanayake will deliver Sri Lanka's statement to the General Assembly on Wednesday, the 24th of September at 3:15 p.m. US Eastern Time. He is also scheduled to engage in bilateral discussions with UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres and several world leaders. Following this US visit, President Dissanayake will undertake a 4-day official visit to Japan from the 27th to the 30th of September at the invitation of the government of Japan. In more local news, a complaint was filed today with the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption against former President Mahinda Rajapaksa and his son Namal Rajapaksa. The complaint was lodged by the People's Power against bribery, corruption and waste.
පාර්ලිමේන්තු මන්ත්‍රී ලක්ෂ්මන් නාමල් රාජපක්ෂ මන්ත්‍රීවරයාගේ වත්කම් පරීක්ෂා කරන්න තමයි.
One of the complaints we are submitting today is to request an investigation into the assets of Member of Parliament Lakshman Namal Rajapaksa. The MP has already submitted his asset declarations to the Bribery Commission. However, according to our knowledge, Namal Rajapaksa has not held any formal job or employment to have earned such assets. He claims that through court proceedings, he has earned about 800,000 rupees as a lawyer. But there is a question as to how the rest of his wealth was earned. As an organization, our investigations lead us to believe that Namal Rajapaksa possesses a much larger fortune than what has been declared. That is why we are submitting this complaint to the Bribery Commission today, urging them to immediately investigate whether the MP holds undeclared assets. If he is unable to explain how he earned them, then the law must apply to him and his allies just as it did to the Rabukwala family. Our second complaint today is related to his father, Mahinda Rajapaksa. When he used the official residence, we heard through media reports that a sum of 510 million rupees was spent on renovations of the Vijayarama presidential residence. But our concern is whether this was done through a proper procurement process. Was this project tendered? Were contractors selected through proper means? Was it actually a legitimate renovation or a cover for misuse of funds? That is why we are submitting a second complaint today to the Bribery Commission, requesting them to launch an investigation into whether this massive amount of 510 million rupees was genuinely used for renovations or whether it was misappropriated through fraudulent methods.
Case filed. The Colombo High Court ordered the money laundering case against Yoshitha Rajapaksa, son of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, to be recalled on the 15th October. The case filed by the Attorney General under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act alleges that Yoshitha Rajapaksa and his grandmother Daisy Forrest unlawfully acquired assets and property valued at approximately 73 million rupees. Both Yoshitha Rajapaksa and Daisy Forrest appeared before the court as named defendants when the case was called today.
Colombo Chief Magistrate Asanga S. Bodaragama ordered that former Minister Shashindra Rajapaksa be further remanded until the 30th of September. The order was issued as Rajapaksa remains in custody of allegations of offences committed under the Public Property Act.
The court was scheduled to consider his bail application today. However, the Chief Magistrate ruled that there were no sufficient grounds to grant bail at this time and ordered that the suspect remain in remand custody. President's counsel Anuja Premaratna, appearing for Rajapaksa, informed the court that his client was in poor health. Taking this into consideration, the Chief Magistrate directed prison authorities to ensure the suspect receives appropriate medical treatment. Shashindra Rajapaksa was arrested by the Bribery Commission on the 6th August in connection with allegations that he unlawfully obtained compensation amounting to 8,850,000 rupees for property including a building constructed without authorization on land belonging to the Sri Lanka Mahavali Authority in Sevanagala. The property was reportedly damaged during the Aragale protests, and Rajapaksa is accused of exerting pressure on officials to secure the compensation.
The Chinese scientific research vessel Yuan Wang 5 has returned to the Indian Ocean 3 years after its high-profile visit to Sri Lanka's Hambantota port. The ship's reappearance comes amid heightened regional scrutiny as India closely monitors its movements.
The Yuan Wang 5, a state-of-the-art satellite and missile tracking vessel operated by the Chinese People's Liberation Army Navy, was last reported near Indonesia on the 18th of September. Its return to the Indian Ocean coincides with speculation that India may conduct a hypersonic long-range anti-ship missile test over the Bay of Bengal between the 24th and 25th of September. India has issued a notum or notice to airmen restricting airspace over the Bay of Bengal during this period, fueling further speculation about an impending missile test. The vessel is equipped with advanced radar systems capable of tracking objects in flight or orbit and has a crew of over 400 personnel. Its dual-use tracking capabilities have raised concerns in New Delhi, with Indian authorities wary of potential surveillance activities. The Yuan Wang 5 is operated by the Strategic Support Force of the Chinese PLA Navy and has played a key role in tracking China's space missions, including the Shenzhou crewed spacecraft, Chang'e lunar missions and Beidou satellites. The ship underwent a technical upgrade in 2022 to enhance its navigation, safety and specialized equipment. The vessel previously docked at Hambantota port in August 2022 after Sri Lanka granted permission despite Indian security concerns. The port itself was leased to a Chinese state-owned company in 2016. More than 140 world leaders will descend on New York this week for the annual United Nations General Assembly Summit, which will be dominated this year by the future of the Palestinians and Gaza. Now, one world leader who will miss the gathering is Mahmoud Abbas, the Palestinian president, who Washington denied a visa to attend along with his officials. The debate of the 80th session will open on Tuesday, the 23rd of September, continue through Saturday, the 27th of September, and conclude on Monday, the 29th of September, 2025. The theme for the general debate of the 80th session of the General Assembly is Better Together, 8 years and more for peace, development and human rights. The humanitarian catastrophe ravaging the small Palestinian territory will top the agenda, 2 years after the beginning of the Israeli offensive in the Gaza Strip that was triggered by the unprecedented Hamas attack on the 7th of October 2023. In a break with convention, the General Assembly voted to allow Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas to address the event by video link while he is represented in the chamber by the Palestinian ambassador. This meeting is expected to see the formal recognition of a Palestinian state by several countries after the overwhelming adoption by the General Assembly of a text supporting a future Palestinian state, albeit without Hamas. The French presidency said on Friday that 10 countries would formally recognize Palestinian statehood at the meeting. Those are Andorra, Australia, Belgium, Canada, Luxembourg, Portugal, Malta, the United Kingdom and San Marino alongside France. The United States, Israel's main ally, has also opposed recognition and had earlier warned it would deny visas to the Palestinian delegation. All eyes will be on the US President Donald Trump, who has initiated massive cuts to US foreign aid since his return to the White House, hammering UN agencies as humanitarian needs grow.
The trophy awarded to the winners of the 2025 Women's Cricket World Cup began its tour in Sri Lanka today. The display was launched at a ceremony held at the R. Premadasa Stadium in Colombo.
The 2025 Women's Cricket World Cup will be hosted by India and Sri Lanka with the participation of 8 teams. The trophy awarded to the champions of the tournament is scheduled to be displayed at several locations across Sri Lanka until the 25th of this month. The trophy tour in Sri Lanka was officially launched today under the patronage of Chamariyatha Pattu, the captain of the Sri Lanka women's cricket team, and Dhananjaya De Silva, the test captain of the men's team. Also present at the event were cricketers Harshita Samaravikrama, Nilakshi De Silva, Dinesh Chandimal and Vishwa Fernando.
I think it's a great opportunity to be able to play this tournament in front of our home crowd. Playing in our own conditions gives us a real chance to perform well and reach the final. I believe our players will give their best and I personally will give my utmost to help bring glory to Sri Lanka. Honestly, I feel our fans are a massive strength to us. They've supported my team throughout and I hope they'll come in large numbers to watch these matches. Their strength is our strength and I invite all fans to come and watch every game. I am expecting the R. Premadasa Stadium to be packed when we play.
To coincide with the trophy tour, a friendly softball cricket tournament will be held tomorrow at the CCC grounds in Colombo featuring girls cricket teams. The event will also feature the official mascots of the tournament, Blaze and Tonk. Tomorrow evening, the trophy will be taken to the headquarters of the Sirasa Media Network. On the following day from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m, the trophy will be on public display at the Nelum Kuluna premises in Colombo. During this event, fans will have the opportunity to take photos with the trophy. The tournament will officially kick off on the 30th of this month in Guwahati, India and will run until the 2nd November. A total of 11 matches of the tournament are scheduled to be played at the R. Premadasa Stadium in Colombo. The Sirasa Media Network holds the official media partnership rights for the tournament.
It is undeniable that Sri Lanka is a paradise. And today, through beautiful Sri Lanka, Newsfirst brings to you a look at yet another charming destination that adds to the beauty of our little paradise. The Bulat Kohopitiya Divisional Secretariat in the Kegol district is truly a paradise of waterfalls. One of the most spectacular waterfalls you will encounter along the Bulat Kohopitiya Detukula road is the Velanda Alla waterfall. However, the path to reach this waterfall is not an easy or comfortable one. You have to cross a bridge built over the Ritikaloya and then walk for about 2 kilometers through a lush tea estate to witness this breathtaking view. The waterfall stands at a height of approximately 37 meters. It is formed from a stream that flows down from the Narangala mountain range. The surrounding rocks are slippery and the area is often filled with leeches. Despite the difficult access, once you make it here, you will feel like you never want to leave.
Beautiful Sri Lanka.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News for tonight.
Thank you for watching.
Good night.